way more often, way more often. Because let me tell you something, share something with you guys. When you're adamant about something and you like are your true self and you put your best foot forward and you want something, come closer. You can have it. No, seriously, I was very flattered by the by another platform. I had no idea that they felt this way about me, but I'm going to talk about them because I truly love them. Um, I brought them up the other day in the other show, but it's a Soundwave. It's a social audio platform. It's a community. It's growing, and I'm like the I don't know. I'll find the words first, but no, I'm like a person that I can accept. Sorry, I got comfortable. I can accept like compliments, stuff like that, but like uh, still like with a whole lot of humble up in there, because I still have a little shyness to me. Care nobody says you don't freaking know me, then if you didn't know that. But I was very humbled by you know their interest in me because no matter what I do or where I go, I'm myself. Like I put myself. I couldn't even fake it if I tried. My mom used to always tell me like, "You wear everything on your face." So I'm like, "Damn, Skippy." If I don't like you, you don't know. You know. That's why I could never be a girl that, "Hey, how you doing? What's up? Hey, what are you guys doing in here?" Kidding. No, I had to stop by. I'm trying to use this app a little bit more. I'm trying to be more engaging. Um, but I can't see. I have to like go like that to be able to read anything. I hope you guys are having a good night. No, I just stopped by just to drop off some jewels real quick. I was just saying that I was very humbled by this social audio platform, Soundwave. Because they did an interview. They called me today and did an interview for their blog, and they've been around for some time, and I'm their the first addition to the actual blog. It chose me, so I didn't know they were checking for me. Because I had been in this platform like a while back, and then I don't know what happened. I just wasn't in there no more. And y'all know I'm an app hoarder, and I didn't know if it was them or it's me. I just didn't consider it, and then I like got the app back, and I remember having this question because it's like a social audio platform where you can record your question, but it's live, and then like people you ask questions or you know what I mean. It's really cool actually, and I remember when I first started, I had a question I put out there. I was like, what would be a good date night? And that question really hit. People were picking up on that. And I remember meeting this girl in there that I think she was like the first one to engage with my content. And so when I went back this round, she was still, I forgot her name. She hasn't been in lately. She was still there because I remember talking to her about her liking the app because it catered to her vision, like being able to stare at the screen. So that kind of made me more aware too of like apps being more user friendly when it comes to people with disabilities and stuff. So yeah, so when I went back this roundabout, because that question was still popping, and even like this dating app or something picked up on it and gave me a shout out with it because that wasn't even my best work. Like I started engaging a whole lot more with the C. I didn't know I was talking with the CEO. He asked me a question, and I was very passionate about it. Asked me some deep stuff, and then I found out later as he's talking that he's the CEO. And then when I was inside the app, 'cause they followed me, and I was conversating, I didn't even know it was him the whole time. So, but they told me, that I was a. I'm going to use the words they chose. They said when they asked me to do the blog, I was like, oh, of course, wow, thank you, I'm flattered. It was like, well, you're kind of a big deal here, and I was a little taken back. I was like, me, but no, um, yeah, because I feel appreciated, because I mean, I do. The things she asked me in the interview were very. I appreciated the questions, because I was able to let them inside the brain of Brandy and where how do I because it's kind of like they call it like a mini micro podcast, because I have a few of those apps, and they ask me how do I go about because they know that I do radio and podcasting, and so you know it had me made me think more too, and I was like when I do content in there, it's basically like original content. Like I don't really pull anything from my podcast or anything, and they asked me like where do I get those questions, the stuff I come up with, what do I do, and I told her, which they appreciated. I said I have a notepad and I write Soundwave and I come up with ideas. I don't ever just spit something. Like I come up with ideas and stuff because I'm always thinking how to come across. Like how can I, I'm always thinking about the listeners, the other person. Never about me. It's about me, but it's not about me because it's about me because I'm keeping it. It's true to me, but it's about the people on the other side of it. You know what I mean? And so it's always something that and it's nothing like too extreme or not extreme or whatever, but it's such a plethora of different questions and they always hit. I think yesterday I did kind of messed them up a little bit and went in there and I said, I'm sorry if I ruin your holidays or your Santa Claus fairy tales, but that shit is whack. It's morbid, and why do we lie to our children? But I put it in a more simpler form, but in a more of a psychological type of way. Like when you think about it, we lie to our children just to tell them that we lied to them. That doesn't sit well with me. And then you kind of program them to know that their parents. You kind of set a plan in there. Like, why would you lie just to tell me it's unnecessary, you know? And then so you want to go deeper? So sit him on that stranger's lap. Just go sit on his lap. He knows you've been naughty. Fuck them all up. But it was brilliant, And the answers, the responses were hilarious. But I was just like one of them, and different things. Um, they asked me about what was the most impactful question I asked that, and it was with a white woman that answered the question. She engaged in the content and was telling me how because it had to do with like ignorance and racism, and she said that that her growing up, they were taught, to think that way, to think that black people were less than and that they were better than. She didn't know why it was like that, but it was like that because that's how they were raised and stuff until she got older and it really started, realizing how bad and how wrong it was and stuff, and how she was so bad that she thought that and stuff. So, and it was impactful because she didn't have to engage, she didn't have to bring it up, she didn't say anything, and I just told her, I said, look, I was like, said, I mean, that was pretty cool that you even shared that, and I said, it's not where you've been, it's where you're going, so you're not there no more, right? So you're good. And she's like one of my faves. She's funny. So they asked me that. So I told them about that one. And I have a plethora of them in there. So I just was very honored that I got to answer those questions. And yeah, that'll be up next week, I think. Yeah. And there's such a good time over there. So it pays to be an app hoarder. About to say app whore. I'm not an app whore anymore. I'm an app hoarder. So I hope everyone is having a lovely night. Hey there. I'm mad that I gotta keep touching the screen. Heather Tony Smith. We got Tony D, Tony Smith. We got Mr. Two Extra. It's Mr. Two Extra. It's too extra. No, for real though. But yeah, I don't want to share that. Um, I found some more new cool apps too. A lot. If you're interested, let me know. Podcasting hosts like sites like record where you can record actually like how everybody has like a podcast host. So I found some really tight ones. Um, so what I did come on here to say, because I am a teacher, the teacher in me, and I was thinking, right, because some people are still debating, or some people, for some kids they're back in school. Some people are like, oh, I don't know, and then some people have kids that aren't at that age yet, or barely there, and they decided not to send them. Either way it goes, even if they are a year or some months away from starting school, I you're doing them a really big favor if you get them started with certain things. Like, even if you don't go deep into like reading and teaching them all that stuff, because there's a method to the madness. There's a method to the madness when we teach kids how to read. There's a whole, you know what I mean, format, different, and the words too. Like that, they one of it's called DIPA. It's crazy, but it's really not just reading to them and saying, "Now say sound that out." No, you have a process. You got to go through letters, sounds. You got to go through phonics, just a whole list. But it's fun actually. But this is the part where you can still, and however you choose to teach your kid how to read, go ahead. But I'm just saying, there's methods of madness so that they correctly read. Because I have a whole student that she just could not figure out where to place the first sound. It's like it goes in the front, but she keeps putting it back. Stuff like that. So, and some people learn differently, but it's still a method to the madness. So they can know how to, because once you know how to use your sounds, you can read anything. So it's like, are you really teaching them how to read? You're teaching them how to sound words out, to be honest with you. Because if you've never seen a word in your life, you don't, you can't show them all the words. You got to know how each sound works, because some sounds are silent and all that stuff. So that's how we all read, is we sound it out. If you've never seen the word before, right? So I say this to say, for instance, like, say if your child does something that you don't like them to do, right? You could take that opportunity. Say if they run around the house or whatever it may be, you take that letter, run. You take that first letter and you say, "What are you not supposed to do? Run in the house. What's to start with?" You just take like little opportunities. The refrigerator. You should always. I know some people still have those magnets. I just not that long ago took mine off because my son's 14. um, the bathroom, a B on the door, toilet, T, simple things like that. You can just turn it into a game sometimes. Be like, so what, and it's a healthy distraction, or when you want to change the behavior of something, and then you just turn something into a game. It's a stress reliever for you, and it's beneficial for them, because if they can get those sounds on, at least definitely know the alphabet, and then know what each sound of the alphabet has, then you've put them in a whole other position before they even get to school. And then that's like, you know, and those are just things you can just do just because. Not everything has to be done in school. You could damn near give them half of what they need already at the age. Now, they'll try to tell you they're not at the developmental stage to some stuff, yeah. But I had a whole kid that was in freaking kindergarten, and he could read better than a freaking seventh grader. Literally, spell and read. I was so fascinated by this little boy and this other little girl. But their moms taught them how to read before they got to school, however they did. But he could read his little tail off, and it was so challenging to, because in kindergarten there's a certain amount of words that they have to learn or know. We call them sight words, and so we go through. So I would always do words and reading and all that stuff, but definitely like words and like then when you get to the fat cat bat and all that stuff, and win 10, stuff like that, fan pan man, shit like that. So, and that was nothing. You put some words up there that adults can't even damn near read. You can read it. So kudos to that, mommy. But yeah. So those little things right there, like if you're busy or something like that, and you just want to have fun with them, you can turn that fun into a learning, a whole learning curve. and it also takes away from being on tablets and TVs and stuff all the time. It's really beneficial. It's really healthy. It's damn near imperative that you find something else for them to do instead of sitting in front of the dumb box. I'm telling you right now, it's used to dumb down society, and don't take my word for it. It's what the government said, or the people said, whatever. I call them, they're all the same to me. They got to dumb down society, and it looks like it's worked so far. So, um, but yeah, you don't want them in front of the TV like all the freaking time because get it? Program, television, you know what I mean? So that should mess you up. I stopped this year because I was something, yeah, I don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. All I know is I can't do too much television. And this is coming from a person that watched a lot of television and a lot of horror movies too. I know more. I can only do so much, so much. But it's been beneficial though, you know? So I could totally tell the difference. No, what? Well, stop. So do I have a degree in psychology? No, but now that you say that, though, I do a lot of reading. That was always like I always get with these groups that I always end up intertwining with people that are into psychology and stuff like that because we like to talk about. I've always been fascinated by the hell people be thinking since I was younger. I swear I have. And when I was in school, we took sociology and psychology. Took a little bit of sociology and psychology. So that I learned a hell of a lot in that. But no, a lot of it's like common sense and experience. A lot of common sense, but actually a lot of it is observation. It's kind of like to observe people, and I've always been like quiet growing up. I was, not really too talkative. Sometimes I still can get very quiet because I'm watching, listening, watching, and I've always been intrigued. So even to this day, I go into these what do you call them? Like not dictionaries, encyclopedias. It's literally called. Well, some of them are labeled differently, like cognitive dissonance and different stuff like that. So I just want to get a little bit more insight on. So I do a lot of reading. The stuff I come across is just it's baffling. Because sometimes I just want to share it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're going to receive it too well. Going to school for psychology? Mm, no, I don't know. I mean, the little bit I did take. I didn't afterwards. I considered it very shortly. When I had went to school, I went to school. I was a medical assistant, and being a medical assistant, school was cool. I guess I was pregnant during. That's when I was pregnant with my son during. When I was in medical school, and then I started working in a doctor's office, and I quickly found out what I didn't like and what I did like. And I learned that I was better off. I liked being like in the lab. So before things happened, I ended up taking a different route. My next goal was to possibly work with okay, so don't take so like say for instance like I didn't have a problem with the lab like testing urine and all that stuff. It's the craziest thing because you can sometimes tell by the color of the urine. You'd be like, oh, you got a infection here, but you can't say that stuff because you have to let the doctor say it. You can kind of get in trouble for stuff like that. But I liked being away from people and stuff. I hated insurance. Like I knew I didn't want to do that. I don't want to file shit. I didn't like that. I definitely didn't like running people like insurance. We had to take a little bit of pharmacy, like Those are the hardest words ever. And coding, and I didn't like that, but I liked messing with doing lab work and EKGs. And so I was going to go down some, I think even possibly, what is that word again for blood? I'm like sitting over here like it is not. So yeah, but things took another turn, and I ended up going to school for business. But actually, I went to school for criminal justice. I got into the program, very shocking because I passed the test the first time. Uh, but I asked some questions. I didn't want to be paying all that money, and then I couldn't get into that field. So some things hadn't went on with me. Started talking to some detectives because a lot of like retired detectives and stuff work there, and so then I ended up going into business, which was actually the best because I was on honors rolls, and I don't know how I got through math though, accounting and stuff, but I didn't settle for nothing else but an A and that stuff, A and everything, A. But it was the best choice to make because that's how I ended up planting myself exactly where I wanted to be at when I finished. I never knew I was going to be working at being a teaching or anything like that. So, and then I ended up teaching because I was always at my son's school after work or school, and I would go volunteer all the time. I was that parent, and so I got really close with the principal and staff and stuff, and I was good in the classrooms, and so and that was one of the most amazing choices that I made because I miss my students right now. I miss them so badly. Like a lab tech. Yeah, that's what I like. I like because I like being away because people are dangerous. People are freaking crazy. I had a whole man try to take the needle away from me so he can poke his mom. Like I don't know what he was thinking. He was just like, and it doesn't matter what I was gonna say just to paint the setting. So, but I'm not even gonna do that. All I know is he was got a little impatient. And I think I was giving her a finger stick for glucose or something. And next thing I know, he's like, "Oh, just let me do it." I'm like, and I remember just yelling out, "Wozniak," because that's the doctor's name. She's Russian. And she's like, "What?" And then they came and stuff, and I was just like, "This dude's tripping." And but I didn't really like it there because they didn't use. I was taught in school like the the proper ways like OSHA and all that stuff and everything, gloves when you're working with blood. Because when I poked that lady, let me tell you, when I poked her freaking finger, do you know that blood? Shoo! And it was like slow motion. I was like, "Ooh," and hit. And if that would have got in my face or anything, I noticed that was a lot with that office where there was no. When in school, we always wore those things and had gloves. So that I didn't appreciate. And then I had to help back. You give babies their shots. I had to help do that, and we had to hold the baby, and she was just crying her little tail off, and I didn't like it. I didn't even like when my own baby had to get shot. So I was like, I don't want to do that either. Yeah. So yeah, but now where how my head is and where I'm at now, I like creating, more of a creator. I'd be more likely to produce something, create, even if I wasn't in the limelight, create, make, like create something, sell it, or be a producer of something. I like to write poetry, all that stuff, write a book, just create. So I like to make beats, write music, so stuff like that. And a lot of apps. I like apps, making apps. You can be anything. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I like to tell let kids know too, or my son, like you just put effort into what you want, put that energy into it. Because they don't condition kids to do that stuff anymore. Like what I learned in the classrooms, it's like not about what they want, it's about what they want them to condition to them to do out in the world, and not really what's going to benefit them as far as skills and all that stuff. And I saw that was really lacked in the schools system these days. It's not about getting to see what they were good at. Nah, not at all. And no one's telling you to follow your dreams. It's like even parents and grandparents, they're like, no, you got to go to school, you got to go to college, get a good job, and then do all of that so you can retire. Yeah, that sounds like a great life. Where was enjoying life and doing anything that makes you happy? I think that's bull crap because to each his own. You go. I mean, we're not going to sit here and act like it's not programmed thinking here. Um, but no one really gets. I know so many people that said that they always wanted to do something else, but they only did what they did because their family wanted them to be a doctor or their family wanted them to teach. You know, and it's like I think everybody should do what they love, and if you're really good at it, you can make an income from it. You can if you're really good at it. So many people do that. You just got to be smart about it. Like get that job because in this world you got to take care of yourself, but follow your dream, what you love. We're never conditioned to do anything that makes us truly happy. We got to figure that out on our own. But nobody's behind you talking about happiness. It's like, no, you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like, but for what? I get it, but for what? Because they said so. And then people will knock down your dreams, like you can't make money doing that. You got to go to. It's like, so many people will wait on the sidelines to watch people fail. You know what I mean? Because they never had that opportunity to do what they love. Yeah. Or had the guts to even, I've always believed in finding my happiness in what I wanted. And I never expected it to be given to me or try to get it from somebody. I always knew that I would, it was going to take me, you know. So if I said I don't want to do that, and somebody said, well, what if you don't get that job? You think you're too good? No, no, I'm not. But I'm gonna get that job because that's what I want. Because I don't want to work there. You know what I mean? So it's like not that you think you're too good for something. It's you know what it takes to what you have to do to get there. So, you know. And I've worked at places. I've worked at like Subway, Starbucks, freaking Taco Bell. That didn't last too much long when I moved to this other Taco Bell because they were disgusting. The things that they would do there, they make you not eat fast food. So I've worked in like those type of places. Worked at Kmart, shit. I had a plethora of jobs, you know, and then and so they became more professional, you know. Yeah, always do what makes you happy. I'm down for happiness because I'm telling you, we're not conditioned to do things that make us happy. We're not conditioned to care about our happiness, to think about it. Think about it. We literally get up in life to cater to other people all the time. When you're going to work, you're going to go cater, then that's what you put first. You know what I mean? And that's what people expect you to do because that's what you're supposed to do because you're an adult and you need to do that. And your happiness doesn't matter. And it's like, who says so? Because I'm pretty sure that's not what God says. Not even to be funny. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that the same people they have this not judging a relationship with God and stuff, but then at the same time, even he rested. But 7 day rested. Mm. But what I'm saying is, what's wrong with allowing yourself to be happy and making yourself happy and going out and getting it? All I'm saying is it depends on what it is. Now, some people, there's a fine line there. Like when you tell a kid, you can do whatever you want. You put your mind to it. You got to be careful with those words. You really, really, really do. Because they could put their mind to doing some really jacked up stuff. You know? I mean, take that with a grain of salt. So, yeah. But they got common sense. They pretty much they would know. But I'm gonna end it on this because I know I don't want to keep you guys and stuff because I can probably keep going on. But I was talking to this psychotherapist the other day on my show and stuff, and I liked her because I was like, "We're there." I was like, because I always say it starts back with how you're raised in the home, and those are like from the ages like 1 to 7, I think, or we said 1 to 5, but on 3 or 4 or 5, right about in there is when you start receiving those messages and developing like those things that will, if you don't ever take care of, will they will stay with you until you're an adult, and they will play out in every relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is. They will always play out in those relationships. So a lot of times when we're in relationships and your partner gets, or it could be both of you guys, and it's called one is called the shadow child, and the other is called the sun child. So the sun child is the one that has like more of a self esteem, like the parents, like you know what I mean, like you could tell catered help their child along with how you the messages you give your child, how you love them, how you treat them, and how you let them grow or not grow. The shadow child probably got more negative comments or messages, or probably didn't really get attention. There's always something, and they carry that with them because in the beginning, because she has over 10 books, bestseller, and I'm very versed in her. She's as a psychotherapist, she well highly recommended. Um, she talks about self-esteem and how one self-esteem, which is very important, a person's self-esteem is how they is exactly as how they're going to walk through life and how they're going to view people, other people, treat them, and see them. You know what I mean? And that's like at the top. Like your self-esteem is important. You know what I mean? Because that will map you out for how you encounter people, what you think, how you see the world. And it can be very dangerous too. We got really deep, because some people resent, or some people treat themselves less than because they think it's so much stuff that goes to it, with being a parent, and like, just be taking it very seriously, how you make sure a child gets what they need and you let a child be a child. You know what I mean? But you don't have to be perfect. And she even said that too, like parents are not supposed to. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good enough. She said it just like that. You just got to be good enough. And I was like, that's true. Because parents aren't perfect. You should even try to act like you're perfect. Let your kids know. I mean, certain things that's non appropriate shouldn't kids shouldn't have to see. But some parents don't even want to cry in front of their kids. They don't want to even know if they're upset. They tell their kids they've never done certain things, and that's some bull crap. And all you're gonna do is set them up for failure because now they think that they can't do any of these things because it's not allowed because you never done it. They can't problem solve because they never seen you go. None of that stuff. And now they got to be perfect. We talked about that too. The kid that thinks they can't do anything wrong, they got to be perfect. Screw them up. Kids should know it's okay to make mistakes. You know. Yeah. But thank you for always coming on in here and engaging. I appreciate it. Somebody wants to listen to me. Just kidding. It's okay. I listen to myself, so it's okay. I'd be in here all by myself if nobody's in here. I wouldn't care. Still talking. But thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna try to get like one in a day, and I just want to say to Haps, please forgive me for those times when my computer, or I understand that that takes a lot of stuff, the way it runs and freezes up on my computer. But I just want to apologize if I said anything rude. 'Cause I know I possibly did, and it wasn't personal, but I did want to say that. I was talking to a friend today, and she's like, oh man, because I knew I do be saying stuff sometimes, but it's not never personal. But still, I just want to say to the Haps that I know it wasn't you. Because I'm not that type of person. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just like be rude and mean to a person in general. So why would I do it on a platform? I know that there's people behind this, you know. So I just wanted to do that personally because I'm still here. Obviously, I came back, and I do send people over, tell them about this app all the time. So just wanted to say that, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Gotta go wash the dishes real quick, and my son's not home, so I'll make me a quick snack so I don't have to cook. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you to everybody else. You guys have a blessed night and peace. Mwah.